watching TV9 Digital. I am Neha. In what comes as a breather for former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Farooq Abduallah, the Supreme Court has rejected a plea seeking action against Dr. Abdullah over his comments on Article 370. The Supreme Court noted that expression of views which are dissent and different from the opinion of the government cannot be termed as seditious, quote unquote. To discuss what really amounts to sedition and what can be termed as dissent, joining me is TV9 legal editor Ashok Bagaria. Thank you, Ashok, first of all. And my first question to you, sedition and freedom of expression, two extremely common terms, widely used but often misunderstood. So firstly, let's start. How about we start by you explaining the difference between the two?
Well, actually, as far as sedition is concerned, it's an offence under the Indian Penal Code, and the freedom of speech and expression, it is enshrined in the Constitution of India. So now when we interpret sedition, we have to see it in the larger context of the rights given by the Constitution of India. So on one hand, we have the larger legal framework defined by the Constitution of India, which gives rights to right of freedom and expression to every citizen. And what it does, what does the law of sedition do is that it basically puts a restriction on right to freedom and speech. So when courts were asked to interpret if there is some kind of a connection between the two, the courts interpreted that the right to freedom of speech should be given primacy over the law to sedition. And over a period of time, we have seen that the courts have ruled that the right to freedom of the right to freedom and speech should be one which should be given more weightage than rather interpreting the law of sedition as it is defined under section 124A of the Indian Penal Code.
Right. So what in the eyes of law really amounts to sedition, Ashok?
Well, as far as section 124 of the Penal Code is 124A of the Penal Code is concerned, it says that anything which is written, spoken, or a visual representation that is made and which brings into disaffection or creates or incites people to violence, or there is an attempt to overthrow the government, these are the things that will constitute an offence of sedition. But what is important here is that how we interpret this offence, because there was a different interpretation given to this section before independence when the British ruled India, and after independence a separate interpretation was given to the law of sedition in the Kedarnath case in 1962.
Right. Talking about this particular case, Dr. Farooq Abduallah spoke critically, about the amendments made to Article 370, and the Supreme Court here is quite explicitly put, saying that dissent cannot amount to sedition. Would you say that the police is sort of reading the law and, slapping it on those expressing dissent loosely?
Well, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, it's taken a very consistent stand since 1962 in the Kedarnath case, and even till today when it dismissed this petition against former Chief Minister Farooq Abduallah, it has always maintained the stand that criticism of governments cannot be seen as sedition. But recently what we have seen that there has been a surge in the number of FIRs which have been levelled not only against students, journalists, writers, academics and cartoonists. It shows that the police of this country are still reeling under the old and antiquated definition of sedition which prevailed in the pre-independence days. So yes, there is some problem with the way the cops are interpreting the term sedition.
Right. Thank you so much, Ashok. Well, here the court has dismissed the plea filed by Rajat Sharma and Nesh Srivastava and also imposed a fine of 50,000 rupees on the petitioners over the latter's allegation of Farooq Abduallah seeking help of China and Pakistan against India post August 5, 2019. Thank you very much for joining us. If at all you like the information that we've shared, do not forget to subscribe to TV9 Digital across all social media platforms. Stay safe.